Friends, hello. Welcome back to my channel. We talk about immigration news here every week. We talk about what's happening with U.S. immigration in the United States and elsewhere, anything that affects United States immigration. We talk about legal issues that have to do with immigration. I always answer your questions. I respond to any inquiries you have, and I'm always happy to discuss your stories with you live or in the comments. And if you need a consultation, I'm going to turn on my contact information right now. Here it is. My phone number is on the bottom for consultations, because this show is not intended to be an attorney giving legal advice, of course, but a lot of questions are educational. I always like to generalize for everyone else that might have these issues, and I love to discuss your worries, your things that bother you in immigration, and I'm always here for you guys. I'm just gonna double check if people are seeing me online. I think they should be. Yeah, I think it's live. I'm gonna wait for a couple more people to join. A little bit about myself for my new friends here. I'm an immigration attorney, but I'm also an immigrant. I'm a first generation immigrant that came here. I was 12 years old from Ukraine, that's under attack by Russia right now. At the time I left, though, we were all part of Russia, really. It was called USSR, and it was the Soviet Union. And at the time we left, it was called the Ukrainian Socialist Republic of USSR. We all spoke Russian. I speak a little bit Ukrainian, but I identify as Ukrainian, of course. Ukraine has at least 30 years now of history on its own with independence. So I condemn what's happening in Ukraine. But the thing is, there's so many other countries in the world where bad things are happening right now. And people are coming here to be saved. And this is why I do what I do. I love to help people legalize in the United States. And I run a group of other lawyers who think like myself, and all the people who work with us, our team. We all love to help immigrants legalize and to make the things that seem so hard and complex in immigration law easy for you guys, and make it accessible and make sure you get those green cards. So I have about 10 people watching right now, so I guess I'm going to start. I'm going to start talking about the topic today, which is arrests on the border. 2 million people plus, more than 2 million, were arrested or stopped at the US border in 2022 fiscal year, which means October 1st, 2021 to October 1st. It didn't even end yet. I guess September 30th, 2022. Already about 2.3 million, 2,300,000 people were arrested at the border, stopped. Now, last year it was 1.7 million, and the year before I think it was closer to like 1.3 million. So it keeps going up. More and more people are coming in, first of all, to the border. And funny enough, I read an article with Washington Post about the same thing, and I'm going to just open that real quick. They're saying that the statistics show that where it used to be mostly single adults coming in, now there's more families coming in at the border. And more families means like a different procedure that the CBP, which is the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Department, is treating differently. So the families are treated differently than adults who are single, or like one person is coming. Lots and lots of people from Mexico and other countries in Central America. Those are the biggest sources of illegal entries, people who are just crossing the border, not asking for asylum. That's people from Venezuela, Nicaragua, and Cuba. They accounted for more than 1/3 of the people arrested on the border last month. And it's 175% increase from August 2021. Now, Biden administration is blaming the governments of those countries from where they're coming from, that basically we're having a hard time sending back the deportees, like people who we are deporting. And many of them ask for asylum, humanitarian protection, and many of them have strong asylum claims. So a lot more people are coming in. The regimes are getting worse. Let's be honest, in Venezuela, Nicaragua, and Cuba, things are getting worse in those countries. So people are running to the United States. They know that the Biden administration seems like more humane. They seem like they're more friendly to to immigrants, and they knew Trump was building a wall. He was completely against all this, so they weren't coming in as much when Trump was in power than as they are today. Let's be honest. Also, a lot of people are doing repeat crossings, meaning they get thrown out and they come back again. Um, um, Now, the reason for that was because a lot of people got turned away under that Title 42 emergency public health um, law policy implemented at the start of the pandemic. And it allowed them to quickly expel or throw people out. Those people just came back. They didn't get processed, properly. But it's a fact. There's a lot of factors, there's a lot of factors that are in this, but basically it's almost twice as many people coming through now as they were last year, and even more than the year before. That's just astounding numbers. 2 million is a lot of people. 2.3 actually million this year. It's historic, and it's a wave of people that's driven by the soaring numbers of people crossing from Mexico and Central America. And even though Biden is saying they're building a safer, more orderly, and humane immigration system, and blaming Trump for dismantling channels for legal immigration, the fact is a lot of people coming in. There's a lot of studies coming out saying that the people they're detaining at the border, they're putting in jails, they're being very badly mistreated. These are not the best conditions. So you have to understand, immigrants are risking, knowing that they'll be put like in jail in the United States. They'd rather be in jail in the United States and suffer like this than stay in their home country. Um, um, what else? That's all I wanted to say in that. If you have comments or questions, please drop a comment below. I'm starting to say hello to my friends here. Maria Perez, good morning. Great to see you. Christine, good morning to you. Miss Calita News says, good morning, Hermosa, which is beautiful in Spanish. Good morning. He sent his package out for a green card. He only got a letter saying he has biometrics. It's been 2 months already. Yeah, green card applications are sometimes taking over a year. So it's normal. It's absolutely fine. But the Mexican, so he's saying, so for Mexicans, is that work permit come with the advanced parole, or they come in different cards? It depends. It depends if you filed for both, if you're eligible. Sometimes they come in one card, and it's going to be a plastic card, and the plastic card will say on the bottom, serves as advanced parole. And sometimes they come separately. Work permit is one plastic card, and the advanced parole comes in like a colored letter with your picture in it. It depends. So the dream is saying good morning. Good morning. In New York and New Jersey here, it's become suddenly very cold. All right, people are asking questions. I welcome your questions. Please ask your questions. I'm happy to answer them. Here is from Fine Dine Eatery. Good morning to you. She filed VAWA in December 2021. Her ex-husband was a lawful permanent resident, which is allowed. If you're married to a green card holder, lawful permanent resident, you can file for VAWA. She got her VAWA receipt number and a biometrics appointment, which she completed in April. I guess I didn't see there's a continued, but I guess the question is how long it's going to take. It's going to take 26 months to get the VAWA approved, and I would always add another 6 to 8 months to get the green card approved, okay? Now, it's current. The visas are current for spouses of green card holders. So you're doing everything right, but it's going to take you about 3 years to complete the whole process, if that's your question, because it says continue, and I don't see the rest of the questions. the question, this one. All right, let's see what else I prepared for today. I was going to tell you guys more about VAWA, as I usually do, because that's like my favorite kind of case. But you know what? I'm also going to discuss today, since I have a little time and people are still gathering before posting their questions. And those questions always come at the end, and I welcome them, of course. But I only have about 35 minutes today. So cancellation of removal, interesting way to legalize. Very hard, not easy. I'm going to start by saying that, but a really good way to get a green card. It's for people who are here in the United States for more than 10 years, 10 plus years. They have a spouse or kids born here or just become US citizens, or even they could be green card holders, spouse and kids. And you file for asylum. When you get to court, usually we withdraw the asylum. We say no more asylum. We ask the judge for something called cancellation of removal under 42B. That's a section of the law. And we say, guys, we say to the judge, this is a person of good moral character. They have a spouse and kids who are citizens. We ask you to keep them here because the spouse and the kids have special hardships. They're called extreme hardships. Usually it's medical problems, mental health issues. You know, nowadays, so many kids have mental issues that it's not that even difficult for a lot of people to find. And they've been through abuse and trauma. The kids are starting to act out. They have mental issues. Or, you know, somebody has a heart problem or bad asthma or allergies or other health problems. And we say, look, this person needs American medicine. Oh, here, she's finishing her question. Fine dine eatery. How long? Okay, so she's saying, so just to answer your question, this is for fine dine eatery. The whole case will take 3 years. It should take about 10, 11 months for your work authorization, okay? So you could leave and start working and having a new life. Back to cancellation of removal. Cancellation of removal on the average takes 4 years, plus or minus. It's a long process. You will get a work permit. You will be in legal status. It does go in front of a judge. So you will be in like deportation proceedings pretty much. And at the end, if you win, you'll have to wait another year or a year and a half for a visa to become available in the quota. There's a quota every year how many people can receive cancellation of removal green cards, and judges pull them out of a computer and assign them to you. So that's a little bit about cancellation of removal. A really good way, if you've just been illegal here, no crimes, you've just been like a good regular person, no crimes, and you have kids here or a spouse who is a citizen or green card holders, they forgive the fact that you came without any visa. They forgive that you overstayed, even if you had a visa. All of that is forgiven and you can get a green card. And we win these all the time. Now, I'm not saying 100% of the time everyone is eligible. Not everyone is eligible. But if we take your case and our phone number is below, you're probably eligible because we know how to screen for these. Mr. Kursunta Doshi, hello, says second half year prima facie is a good sign or not? Regards, it's a good sign, but it's not unusual. Everyone who's just waiting for a long time for their VAWA to be approved gets prima facie approvals, just to show you you're still pending, you're still in good status. Christofina says, what does it mean when case is actively under review after biometrics was done based on the DED? This is for a lot of people from Africa and deferred basically actions. It's a status. It just means they're still looking at your case. That's what it means. And Fine Dine says, God bless you and thank you. Thank you. Thank you for asking your questions. El Mescalito News is asking, I have my uncle who's going in surgery in a couple of days. I want to go with an emergency advance parole. How safe is it to return? Can I go with just the receipt? No, you cannot. No, you cannot leave with just the receipt. You have to wait to receive in your hand the advance parole. If you leave, you're not coming back. It's not just unsafe. You're just not going to come back. So you cannot leave, even if it's an emergency for you personally, with just a receipt. What you can do is make an appointment. You call immigration, you call USCIS, you request an emergency info pass appointment, customer service appointment. If they decide that you deserve it, if they deem you deserving of the info pass appointment, they will email you with the time and date when you can come with your receipt, and you request them to give it to you on the spot, your advance parole. And they're able to do it if you can prove your emergency. I'm not sure if an uncle, to you and me, it's an emergency. I don't know if immigration will think that it's worthy of an emergency because he's not a parent or a child, right? But I think you should try. You start by calling the 1-800 number for USCIS. You talk to a human being and you request an emergency info pass customer service appointment because you need an emergency advance parole. You give them your case number for the receipt, for the advance parole, for the I-131 form I-131, and you say, on that case, I need an emergency advance parole. Please issue me an emergency parole. I have documents. I have an uncle who's dying or in surgery. And only if they give it to you and you go in person and you get the advance parole, then you safely can leave and come back. Otherwise, do not do that. Okay, Abiodun Davis says, good morning. How early is one supposed to file an I-130 petition when on pending asylum? I don't know if you're doing it through a spouse. Like if you have a spouse, if you are married, you can file right away. Like if they're a green card holder or a U.S. citizen. Depends on how you came in here and how you filed for asylum. I recommend you call our office, numbers on the bottom of the screen, and you get yourself an appointment, a consultation with us. We have to look at a lot of things to be telling you if it's even going to help you to file. Sometimes people decide not to file because if you came with no visa, if you entered without a visa, this kind of a case, a spouse who's a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, doesn't help you really, because then you will need a special waiver and you're in removal proceedings. It's going to be too complicated. If you have a good asylum case, you might as well just stick with your case, but not for everyone. You might have a different situation. So give us a call to find out what you should do. Yasser is saying, my lawyer did fight with the immigration officer during the interview. An officer ended the interview immediately. What to do? The case was denied. Wow, this is a terrible story. I'm sorry that happened to you. Call us for a consultation. I don't know. I'd have to read why it was denied. It's not like I'm magic and I can tell you from the top of my head without knowing the situation what you can do. Obviously, talk to another attorney. We are here for you, 718-769-6352. There's our website. Call us for a consultation. Send us the denial. Tell us what happened, and we go from there. Okay. All right. Now I have a little bit of time. I don't see any other questions. Let's talk about VAWA in 2022 as the year comes to an end. Waiting time right now. VAWA is taking 26 months. That's a little bit over 2 years. After that, you need a few more months, at least 6 more, for the case to go from Vermont to the local service center, not service center, field office, I'm sorry. So like if you live in Boston, the VAWA cases, all of them from all over the United States go to Vermont. Vermont, the humanitarian unit, the VAWA unit, approves your case. They have to ship the box with your file to Boston, if you live in Boston, to your field office, where an officer will look at it, review it, see if there's no arrest. Sometimes they don't even have an interview for you for a green card. Altogether, this is going to take approximately 3 years. Okay, so that's the VAWA waiting time as of right now, the latest update. Now, a lot of people, no interview at all. The VAWA case is all on papers. So you have to document, you have to show that this was a real marriage. You lived together for better or for worse to have a family together. Maybe you didn't have kids, that's okay, but this was a real relationship. Number 2, there was abuse. If you don't have police reports, that's okay, but you have to go to a psychologist. You need witnesses to show that, you are subjectively feeling abused, like you feel mistreated, badly treated. So that's very important. And then you have to show a police clearance. You haven't been arrested and all of that. So that's still very relevant. They no longer take things piecemeal. We used to, up until I would say like 2 months ago, send in like a skeleton application. One moment, please. Sorry about that. I had to remind my family I'm doing a live show. They're making noise here. We're moving. That's why they're packing and we're moving. What was I saying? Yeah. So you have to show that there was abuse. You have to show your person of good moral character. We no longer submit one case in pieces. We submit the whole case in one package, because they used to be able to accept things piecemeal. Like I would send the skeleton form and a short story. Then I would send, psychologist reports. Then I would send a long story. Then I would send more witness letters or something like that. But now we don't do that anymore. They don't accept it. So that means when you become our client, we have to put everything together, make a really strong case, and send everything in one package. We don't have the opportunity to add anymore. They're rejecting additional documents. I mean, then we like try to email them, but it's a very difficult thing. Or you can send it, but you have to wait to get a request for evidence, and it slows things down if you wait for the request for evidence. So if we get you and you don't have an emergency for VAWA, we just try to take a couple of months sometimes to make a really strong case and then submit the whole thing in one packet and win for you. Finally, I'm getting some more questions. This is a great thing. Porfirio is asking, he's an I-485 Mexican national. That means he filed for a green card using a form I-485 with work authorization only, and he got the receipt that he filed for a green card. Does having a girlfriend count if you only know her online, but you need to see her for an emergency? Probably not, but you can try. Porfirio says, buenos dias. Good day to you, sir. Good day. I'm glad we're finally getting more Spanish people watching. I'm trying to learn Spanish, but my Spanish is very poor, I'll be honest with you. And whenever I go to Miami, I have a place in Miami, a little place. People in Miami mostly speak Spanish. I mean, literally, I feel like in Florida, especially in Miami, English is a second language. And I feel ashamed. I understand a lot of words. I know a lot of expressions, but I'm not fluent in Spanish. I wish I was. But we're hiring some Spanish speaking people now, because it's not right. So many immigrants are Spanish speaking, and we have a lot of languages in our office, but not Spanish yet. We're working on that. So welcome, bienvenidos. All right. Good morning, says Christian. Good morning. Do you know how long it takes to take USCIS to call you for an InfoPass appointment? You call them. You should be able to reach somebody the same day. You request an InfoPass appointment. You say, I request an InfoPass appointment. They really have to be convinced that you need one or you deserve one. You have to show it's an emergency, right? So if it's an emergency, they will give you one, but they will email it to you the next day usually. So you call them today, you request an InfoPass appointment, you have to explain the emergency, you have to convince them. Then they think about it and they email you the next day or the following day with your appointment time and date. That could be like a week or two, or maybe in a day or two from when you request it. I hope that answers your question. Abidun says he came with a visa, with an H-1B visa. Okay, that's good. If you have an H-1B visa, you can get adjustment of status, and your spouse is a U.S. citizen. You file immediately. You file today. You will have an interview based on your I-130 petition. If everything goes well and you pass the interview, then you have two options. Either you can ask the judge to give you a green card and get an individual hearing, a court hearing for the green card with your wife or husband, your spouse, or alternatively, you can ask the court to terminate, close out your deportation case, your proceedings, and just get USCIS to interview you. But I'm assuming that you're in court. You might not be there yet. So if you only filed an asylum application and you're not yet in immigration court, then all you do is just file a regular marriage case and you do nothing else right now. You just file adjustment of status through marriage and you do nothing else. Do not close your asylum case yet, because if you do, they will knock you into immigration court by referring you to an immigration judge immediately. So that's what I would do. But again, call our office for more detailed consultation. I might not have all the details. Okay, now Christian says he's been waiting for almost 3 months for them to schedule his info pass. Is to get my green card after an immigration judge granted. Oh yeah, that's taking a long time. You got to keep calling them. Call again. Stop waiting. Call again. Hoop the Deeks is saying, hi, I'm living here in the United States for 24 years. I came here as a crewman on the C1D1 visa. Do I have any chance to be legal? If you're married to a U.S. citizen or green card holder and you're abused, you can get a green card even with this kind of visa. If you're married and not abused, you can apply for an I-601A waiver, but you're going to have to leave to go to an interview in your home country. That's another option. But those are not really easy to get. The chance of winning is not so high. But yes, it's available. You're married to a U.S. citizen and you need a waiver to forgive this entry and to go to your country and come back. And asylum also, you can file for asylum if the conditions in your home country have changed for the worse. You know, like if you go, like for example, not for you, but maybe if you're from Russia and you came in with this visa and you could file for asylum right now because things in Russia are so bad right now, you could probably get asylum even though you're filing after a year. Next question is from Alero. After submitting your VAWA application, how long does it take to get a receipt of them receiving it? About 3 to 4 weeks or less. All right, guys, I think that's all the questions I have for now. I'm going to give you a couple more minutes to ask anything else. It's 11:30. I'm almost done with the time I had here. I have time for 1 or 2 more questions, but I don't see any more. Okay, on that note, okay. Sue says, please, sweetie, how long does it take to renew a green card expired in 2019 to United States through K1 visa? If you had a 2-year green card and you filed in 2019 a petition I-751 to remove conditions, I'm going to tell you that right now it's taking, I'm going to tell you how much it's time. I go to USCIS, check your processing times. I pull down your petition number, which is I-751. I go to removal of conditions, and I don't know what service center is handling your case, but let's say Nebraska. If your case is going through Nebraska, it should have been already approved because it takes 17 months. But if I do Texas service center, right, it says 11.5 months. And if I do Potomac service center, it shows 23 months. So who knows where you are, what's going on. You might want to call us to see why it's so delayed. And I'm talking about a 2-year green card, conditional green card. Christine says, my nephew came here in December 2017. Can he get a green card? Give us a call for consultation. Maybe we can figure out how he can get a green card, okay? So living in California doesn't help me figure out which service center is handling your case. You have to look on the bottom of your receipt. Alara says, after receipt of the VAWA application, what's next? You wait. They will tell you what to do. They might send you a request for evidence. VAWA petition takes about 2.5 to 3 years to get a green card. Elmas Khalida News says, so the green card package looks good so far. I'm confused. Green card package from 2002. I don't know. You should call for a consultation. The Dream is asking, if a stepchild is mental, can I file for his stepmom? No, I don't think so. All right. On this note, all right. One last question from Hoop. I'm living with an American lady for 17 years, but we're not married. He has that crewman visa. Can he apply for abuse? You can if you marry her. Marry her, then you can file for VAWA. If you're not married, VAWA is not for you. Okay, so I have haters already here. That's fine. That's okay. Everybody has an opinion, and I appreciate people's opinions. But in this channel, we talk about immigrants and how to help them and how to get them legally to get green cards without breaking any laws, to work in our immigration system the way it is, how to get legalized. I wish you all to have a wonderful weekend. Have a great Friday night and Saturday and Sunday. I'll see you next week, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. I appreciate all of you watching and asking questions, because this is what makes my show and makes my Friday morning. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.